If you want to be cool because you don't feel cool for whatever reason, you've got to be really clear on your definition of what cool is. Because if you think back to school or what you see on TV, a lot of that cool factor is how the person looks, how they dresses, the shoes, the clothes, the hair, the makeup, the car that they drive, the whatever that they have around them. A lot of the time, we're judging that cool factor on the presentation or the outside presentation. But I don't think that's what it is. And here's why. A few years ago, I was at a fitness conference over in the US. I would fly over to either LA or Chicago or wherever it was to attend Perform Better, a 3 or 4 day fitness summit where a lot of the best coaches in the like fitness and physiotherapy, rehab realm all sort of join in together and share information, basically so we can all be better coaches. Now, I went to a particular presentation by a guy named Dave Jack. I'd never heard of him before, didn't know anything about the guy, but I thought, yeah, look, I'm going to rock up to this one, see what it is, see what I'm going to learn today. I cannot tell you what he spoke about on the day, but I can tell you the one thing that happened before he uttered a word in front of everybody changed my life and how I view the whole cool thing forever. Before he started his presentation, he walked around the entire room, introduced himself to every single person, shook their hand. Hi, I'm Dave. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Every single person. No clue what he spoke about, but I know that he made me feel seen, he made me feel important, he made me feel welcome before he uttered a word of his presentation to anybody. Now that was mind-blowing to me. That was an experience I will never forget because I felt so good in that moment and so in awe of what that guy just did. It was so simple, but it was also so personal, so impacting in my life. That guy was cool. All right, couldn't tell you what he wore, couldn't tell you what his hair was like, not a clue, but he made me feel welcome. He made me feel special through there. So if you want to be cool like Dave Jack, then here's some of the things that will absolutely work for you, because I've taken them and I've used them in real life, and I certainly feel like I am now able to make other people feel that same sort of feeling that I've felt. Start here. First of all, be open to whoever is in front of you. You never know who you're speaking to. You may be talking to somebody who is homeless. You might be talking to a billionaire. Their clothes, their appearance, it doesn't tell you anything. About 10 years ago, I was at a car show called Hot August Nights in Reno, Nevada. I stayed at Little Backpackers, and there were a bunch of the guys who still had their hot rods who were staying at that same apartment or that accommodation that I was at. And every day we would sort of get up for breakfast and everyone would hang out in the kitchen and have a bit of a chat while they had their breakfast, coffee, whatever. One of the guys that I met there, he was probably closer to my parents' age, drove a beautiful red convertible Highboy Roadster. I think it was a 1930s. I'm probably wrong, but I got talking to him a couple of the days, would have a look at his car, just be chatting to him, and he seemed like a really nice guy. He was interesting, he had a few cars of his own, and I thought, great, that's cool. By the time the car show was finished, we'd parted ways, we'd exchanged information, and we kept in touch. Now, I would later go on to learn that Doug was also a part owner in a bank. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Oh, he also happened to do a lot of work with business and trade in China, had a degree in Chinese law. Very smart guy. Amazing. My parents were going on a holiday and coming through his city because he was such a good dude and I had such a good time and a good relationship with him. I was like, hey, mate, how would you feel about if my parents would come through and maybe meet you for lunch while they're in your city. He's like, great, that sounds fantastic, but why don't they just come and stay with us? My parents ended up going and staying with these guys 3 or 4 days. They didn't spend a cent on anything. They just were welcomed in like family. They'd never met him before. He was my friend. But because I had taken the step of being open to just having a chat with a guy at a car show, I made a friend that has impacted my entire family, and just had a great chat with him a few weeks ago. Always good to connect with people like that, because I was open to the experience, he was open to the connection. We both end up with this incredible relationship that goes through both of our families. Number 2, make people feel seen and appreciated for being there or meeting you. It can be as simple as just shaking someone's hand and looking them in the eye and, hey, it's good to see you. I'm really glad you made it today. Something as simple as that actually makes someone feel welcome and like they want to see you again. It's such a minor thing. And even when I hear myself saying these things sometimes, I wonder, do people even care about this? And then months go by and people are, I remember meeting you the first time. It was nice to feel so welcome when I met you. And I think that's incredible. Just to be able to have that impact on somebody is amazing. Number 3, if you're interested in their world, people will find you interesting. So if you want to be interesting, be interested. A lot of that is just paying attention to what they're saying. Be quiet, really listen. Ask questions to get more information about who they are and what they're doing. Just by doing that one thing, you're going to be so interesting to the other person, even though you haven't actually said anything about you. It's a strange phenomena, but that's just how it works. So if you can be quiet and just spend your time listening to the other person, they will find you so interesting because you're so different to everyone else. You're not interrupting them. You're not trying to bring your agenda in the conversation. You're just listening to them. It's all about them, and that's cool. All right? The last one, remember people's names. If you can be the person that remembers people's names, you will be remembered. Now, a lot of people will say, I'm terrible with names. And that's just how they are branding themselves. I get it. I also used to be terrible with names. But I figured out early on that it was incredibly powerful when you remembered people's names, that you would be more memorable to them. If you remember people's names, they'll go out of their way to find out who your name is or what your name is, because you seem to know them, they want to know you. They feel like they know you better or you know them better because of their name. Now, there's some simple things that you can do to be able to remember names. Some of that could be like an association with a famous person. It could be associated with the place that you're at. I actually have a list in my phone that says who I've met and where, so I can keep track of who I've met, and that helps. I do have a bit of that photographic memory, so if I can write it down, I can also see a name that goes along with it. Another one that works really well is if you can friend them or follow them on social media. You've now put their name next to a particular picture, and you can lock that into your brain up here. Now, all of this requires practice, obviously, but what we're looking for here is the cool factor. If you want to be cool, you can remember somebody's name. That will instantly make you stand out compared to everybody else around them, because most other people are going to say, I'm terrible with names, and they're just not going to remember names. So you make people feel cool, not by trying to impress them or be, wearing fancy threads or whatever, but by making them feel seen, heard, welcome, appreciated, wanted, valued, loved, interesting, etc. So do that and watch how you're perceived by others change in the biggest possible way. You will absolutely be very cool at that stage in their eyes. Now, if you want to get unstuck and reinvent yourself and your life, you can join my free 28-day coaching program to get unstuck, reinvent yourself, and live a life you will jump out of bed for. Just click the link below and you can get started.